Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. If you haven't noticed, we changed our name. Um, so this will not be called Echoes of Experience any longer. So we're changing it. Um, you'll see it in below. Anyway, we are here. I made a video the other day talking about communication, and I kind of wanted to get into that for the men because most of the conversation with that video was about women, but I think it's important to also kind of talk to the men about this because uh, it is very common, and it's even common knowledge that men are fucking terrible at communication. So let's get into it. I am not innocent of being shitty at communication by any means. I am absolutely terrible at opening up about my feelings or letting people in to kind of figure out or give them insight as to what's going on with me. So bad at it. And that's because I've gone my whole life with handling it myself because whenever I was a child, I was in therapy. Therapy didn't work for me. I went in, my first therapist, um, the whole session was I would hit a punching bag or play in their little play area. I was a child. I would play in their little play area, in their little, like, kind of a public park playground set thing. And it would just be that. There would be no therapy. And then the second therapist, he really tried, but I didn't trust anybody. I didn't open up to even him. He got a little more out of me, but I was never really open with him. And then the third one, I really gave it an effort. I really tried, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I think that has something to do with the environment that I was in at home because I couldn't talk about anything because it was always misconstrued. Anything I was trying to say was just misconstrued, and then it was a whole different ordeal than what I was talking about to begin with. So it was never resolved. It took me until adulthood to really start figuring out what the fuck is going on with me and how to really deal with it. But what I'm still working on and what we're going to talk about today is how to open up to people, um, even if you're unsure that it's safe to do so. This is probably not the best way to go about it, but the way that I see it nowadays is if I'm open with someone, if I'm a little vulnerable with somebody, and it ends up getting thrown in my face or it's misconstrued, I don't care anymore. Like I said what the issue was, and if you have your own interpretation or you take it as something that I didn't even say, that's on you. Unless it comes to a relationship. If it comes to me being in a relationship where I see true potential and this is going to go somewhere and it's going to actually grow into something great, like I hope, then that's a little different. Then we can have a conversation. But I think it's important for everybody to ask clarifying questions if you're not understanding what the other person's trying to say to you. Because I have also been in a situation where someone was trying to tell me something and I took it as something else when they meant something completely different. But I took it as something else. I misconstrued. And I'm I'm working on preventing that from ever happening again, because I have been in too many situations where that has turned into a fight, and I'm not down for it. I'm 25 years old, and I have spent most of my life fighting in some sense of the word, and I don't want to do it anymore. So, a great way to prevent that is work on communication, right? Especially with your partner. Now, men, I understand that we kind of got the shit into the stick, because we grew up, a lot of us grew up with keep your fucking mouth shut. If something's bothering you, deal with it. Nobody cares. It's not anybody else's problem. I get it. Don't be a bitch. Be a man. Man up. You know? Um, I get it. But that mentality gets you absolutely nowhere. You don't know how I know? Because we've all been doing it for so fucking long, and how well has it been working? Men are the majority of suicide rates. Why do you think that is? Because that mentality doesn't fucking get us anywhere. So, how about we just stop? If we're being vulnerable, so let's say a coworker, right? You work in a truck together, you work in a warehouse together, whatever. You're real close, and you get a little vulnerable, feel like you may have overshared. What do you do if that coworker um, either tells you to suck it up or throws it in your face? Move the fuck on. They're a coworker. Outside of work, they are absolutely irrelevant to your life. They don't matter. They're a coworker. You know what I mean? Now, if this is someone who you actively spend time with, and there is a history there, then that's another situation. That means that they don't fucking belong in your life. You give them one chance to not do it again. Just one. And if they do it again, cut them the fuck off. Because I don't feel like anybody is worth our peace. That's all men want, is peace. Generally. If you want anything other than peace, I can't help you. Um, I'm so big on protect your peace. It is absolutely insane. I will tell someone, um, if someone is having a particularly rough situation with someone, and I feel it fit that they need to cut them off, I'll tell them that. Cut them the fuck off. They don't matter. In 5 years, are you going to remember that even happened? You know what I mean? But in the same vein, if people are meant to be in your life, they will continue to be in your life. Now, even if that means you've cut them off or you stop talking to them, whatever, they're going to resurface at some point or another. And that's just how that's going to go. If that's in a better way than it was before, then that's great. If not, then it's another stand on business kind of lesson, you know? But we have absolutely no reason to carry on with this man up attitude and don't talk about anything when it is obviously killing us. Myself included, I tried to control alt delete years ago. I've tried many times in my life, and I'm still here. So I must be here for something, right? So I don't feel it's worth your life to hold on to that mentality of no one gives a fuck. Even if no one gives a fuck, find an outlet or a hobby as an outlet, something constructive that you can do. Work with your hands, or do something creative, or something like that. Because it doesn't matter what someone else says. It matters what you say to you. Self talk matters way more than what anybody else will ever say to you. And that goes for everybody. That's not just men. That goes for everyone. Um, but men specifically, we need to figure out how to move past this mentality and learn how to open up to people who have shown that they're trustworthy. You know what I mean? I feel like it's 2024. We're able to do that. And if something negative comes from it, fuck it. Something negative came from it. You know not to go to that person again. You know what I mean? It's not something that if you go to one person, then you can't go to anybody. You know what I mean? But I also understand that if you try to go to multiple people and things just aren't being heard, or they're telling you the same shit, man up, shut the fuck up about it, therapy might work for you. It did not work for me, but my brain doesn't work the way yours is, and your brain will not work the same as the next guy, so on and so forth. So let's just fucking stop with the man up mentality. And I understand it takes work. Trust me, I get it. I'm actively doing it right now. You know what I mean? Like I'm still bad at it, but we're getting somewhere. I'm a little more open about how I feel because I'm at a point where I don't give a fuck. My caring meter for how my feelings make other people feel is absolutely empty. And it makes no sense to even let that, to an extent, um, let how other people feel about my feelings affect me. You know what I mean? Because even if they aren't the cause, or if they are the cause and you're addressing the issue with them and they're upset by you addressing the issue, then that's another story. You give them the chance, and if they don't grow, if they don't change how they reacted to you, they're not for you. You know what I mean? I feel like if everybody is worried about upsetting people with their feelings, then we're gonna get nowhere. And I understand there are sensitive people out there who will take things out of context and misconstrue things and throw it in our faces. I get it. To me, the small percentage of people who are going to do that in your lifetime are not worth us killing ourselves. It's not worth it, if you ask me. I also don't think it's worth disturbing your own peace time and time again to resolve an issue if there is no resolution to be had. I said something years ago. It actually wasn't years ago, it was like a year ago. Um, I said, don't be afraid to burn bridges that don't need mended. I feel like if we are so worried about maintaining relationships that aren't taking us anywhere, it's just going to drag us down more. And we kind of have it rough. Like, I understand that we don't have the same struggles as women do, but we have a lot of struggles. Really, we do. And most of us don't talk about it. Most of us don't do anything about it because we don't know what the fuck to do. No one taught us that. Well, this is what we do. We figure out what the problem is and we solve it. We go to therapy if we have to. If we need the help, we get the help. There's no shame in that. It just doesn't work for me. I solve issues on my own, and most of the time I make the right decision. If I need a second opinion, I ask my dad because me and my dad can have those conversations. I'm fortunate enough to be able to do that. I understand that's not everyone's situation, but you ask another man that you trust for their opinion on the matter. If they give you a problem solving solution, great. You know, like I don't feel like it's hard. It's just a matter of we aren't opening up to people. Understandably so. Shit fucking sucks when it's just thrown in our faces, or we're told to just man up. It sucks. But considering the fact that we men take up most of the suicide rates in the United States, at least, I think it's important to start making a change. Because if we make the change, if we disrupt the pattern like we've talked about in these videos before, then we can start to create a new pattern, and hopefully a better one for all of us. It's not just me or you or, your neighbor, whoever. It's all of us if we make this happen. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I'm single-handedly going to change the world, not by any means, but if I can help one of you, maybe you can help the next person, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's a unreachable goal for us to help each other, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're all human. We're supposed to help each other. We are supposed to be not a union, a community. I think what we need to do is disrupt the current pattern, because the current pattern is just fucking killing us. And there are so many of us who will mask with anger, or who will drink the pain away. That doesn't work, by the way. Or smoke the pain, whatever. We numb our feelings because we don't know how to deal with them, or we just don't want to. I have been in both of those situations. I either didn't want to, or I didn't know how. And if I don't want to, my brain will make me at some point or another. And so will yours. If your feelings are eating at you, it's either you deal with them or it eats you alive. It is solve the problem or die. You know what I mean? So let's get better together. Let's learn how to communicate with people. And if we get told to man up, we don't go to that person. We find someone else. You know what I mean? It's not something difficult to do. It's just a matter of finding the right person. And if you can find the right person that you can bring anything to, that's fantastic. If you haven't found that person yet, you will. You need a community, and where to find that? I should start a Discord for this, so everybody can be a community. There are men's groups. Those are things. There are men's groups. There's a Patreon that I'm even a part of, and I go in there and read some things sometimes, because there's some really great advice in there, but community is something so fucking important that I think everybody needs, especially lately. It seems men, because the last few years, decades even, we're killing ourselves because we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We don't know how to deal with our feelings, because we're not taught to. We're taught to shut the fuck up and deal with it. But how do we deal with it? How do we solve the problem? You know what I mean? So let's start with learning how to deal with our feelings in our heads. Come to a resolution. Ask people. If you can't come to a resolution, ask people. At least people you trust. If they can't give you a solution, fucking find a Reddit post. I would be willing to bet that there is a men's group kind of thing on Reddit. It's probably filled with memes and shit too, but there might be some golden nuggets in there. I don't know. I have no idea, but I think that's what we need to start doing. And then we need to learn how to communicate with the people in our lives so they can understand where we're coming from on an emotional level. Because let's be real, we all really fucking suck with communication. There may be a few of us who are really good at it. I am not one of them. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying really hard to get there, but it's not just something you do. You know, it takes work. And if you're willing to do the work, you're gonna reach your goal. So let's set that goal. Let's fucking do the thing. I will see you guys on the next one. That's all I got for this particular video. I hope you're all having a great day. Bye.